Before I dive into this, I just want to say that in day-to-day life, I'm actually a very humble person, and it's a little strange for me to speak about myself and compliment myself in the way that I'm gonna have to for this video. But just know that disclaimer. If you already know me, then you know that I'm a humble, down-to-earth person. But for those of you watching this that haven't met me yet, I normally don't talk this way about myself. Much like my grandfather and both of my parents, I was also very scholastically inclined. I benefited from the fine public schools and the gifted program throughout my childhood, including Palmetto, Pinecrest, Coral Reef. I was in the Odyssey program, and I was in the Cosmos program. I even led a team to the state championships in Odyssey of the Mind. I went to the only blue ribbon school in Florida at the time and a magnet school for science kids on Virginia Key called Mast Academy. MAST stands for Maritime and Science Technology. And at that school, I was privileged to learn under the legendary Mark Tucholka, where I took AP Environmental Science and learned all about the mangroves and the intertidal zones and the very special and fragile environments that we have here in South Florida, and how those intercoastal zones not only keep sediment up and our ground secure, also filter pollutants, feed fish, and serve and create an environment for so much life to live. A mangrove really is one of the most special machines in nature, and we're so blessed to have that environment here. I then became a Mast Academy honors graduate with a degree in oceanic and atmospheric science. Because of my performance at Mast Academy, I got a full scholarship to the University of Florida, which is now the top 5 public school in the country. I continued my love and my pursuit of science at the University of Florida and graduated again with honors. After my time at UF, I then graduated from the University of Miami School of Law, again with honors, so I'm also a Cane, so I'm a Gator Cane. So when I was at UM Law, I was there to work. I quickly gained a reputation for sitting in the front, raising my hand, and answering and talking every day. At UM, they have this class called Litigation Skills, where you would have judges from the local community come, and they would evaluate our speaking and our litigation skills, where you compete with 100 other students in one of the most high pressure environments you can imagine. Is kind of like the ultimate acting role. You have to do the research and write the script, practice the script, and then you only get one live take in front of an audience that's cutting you off and interrupting you. But let me tell you something, despite that pressure, I stepped up and performed. My performance earned me a scholarship and one of the top prizes for litigation skills. My research, writing, and speaking skills also allowed me to perform at a competitive level in the moot court team. There were these 4 seats that they kept aside that someone could compete their way onto. And I got one of those 4 seats by competing. And we even competed on a statewide level and got to argue in front of the Florida Supreme Court.
No, Your Honor, it does not outweigh the First Amendment, but they are taken together in a balance that has long been considered by the Supreme Court since 1969.
One beautiful moment was at the end of the Lit Skills competition, the final round was a hearing, and the courtroom that we did it in, by coincidence, was the same courtroom that my mother got sworn in as the district attorney. So even though I was born into somewhat of a connection with the local community, I put in the work to make my own connection with the local legal community. In fact, amongst my friends, there was an inside joke where there's several photos of each of us just passed out, face down in a thick law book. I further strengthened my ties to the community when I clerked at mega law firms like Koziak, Tropin, and Throckmorton, and Potters Orsek. I also interned for the legendary Ursula Ungaro and Judge Alan Gold. But I've always been an entrepreneur. I knew that I wanted to start my own law firm. Just like my grandfather, I gained my own reputation of fighting for the little guy, fighting for the underdog. I quickly went on to represent injured plaintiffs against insurance companies. I never sued doctors and I never sued hospitals. I only sue insurance companies that wrongfully deny claims to injured people that desperately need medical assistance. I'm also very active in the Miami community, having volunteered at Shake a Lake, served on the Coconut Grove Chamber of Commerce, and I'm also a member of the Tropical Audubon Society and the Kampong.